Hello, this is Vicki LaRoe from Modern Jewelry Creators with a quick sneak peek of our estate sale coming up this weekend that I'm having at my home. It's a little private event. And so I just want to give you a little idea of what we have. This is not everything. We're still preparing items, but I wanted to at least, share what we could. We'll see how long this video goes. I may break it up into categories like gemstones and pearls, and then Swarovski and sterling and chain and kids. I don't know. We'll just see, or we'll see if I can get through it fast enough. This is a fantastic private collection from one of my most beloved favorite customers ever, starting from the late 90s to probably 2016, 17-ish. I think I had mentioned in an email that I thought about 85% of it was Bead Factory. That it's like 99%. I can count on one hand the number of things that are not from Bead Factory here. If the quality wasn't up to what we want to do with these sales, and I just didn't show it. I do have a lot of strands here, but most items are loose as far as like the gemstones and pearls and things. We're not going to sit and restring all these. That's ridiculous. Most people will cut their strands apart to use them, of course. But what I did do is go through, I don't know if you can see the little containers. And so I did go through every single container or mix and make sure it is all the same bead. Obviously same shape, same drills, same color, same quality, and that it makes up at least a half a strand or a full strand. And then it's marked on the back of the container if it's a half strand or full strand. And at our shop, a full strand was 16 inches for the most part, not always, but for gemstones and pearls, 16. So a half strand would be 8. And the number of beads, of course, varies depending on the size and shape. But I can put up a little chart for people when they come. But a general rule is 8 millimeters. There are 50 8 millimeter beads on a 16-inch strand, 72 6 millimeter, 104 4 millimeter, and so on. So that's how I know how many beads it takes of any certain one to make up a certain length. I don't have to actually string them. Anyway, but I'm going to give you a quick little zoom through everything. As far as pricing, though, everything, of course, has increased in value from the time it was purchased. And so most things are at least doubled, right? At least 100%. We're not doing that. I would say on average, we're going to take everything about 25% to a current value, which is way undervaluing it, but just to be safe. But anywhere between 10 and 40%, it just depends what the item is. I priced it at a current value, which is still underpriced, and then it's half off. Then it's on sale for half off. So that may sound confusing, but it's really not. It's important to me that you have a current, when you purchase something today, it's important that you have an idea of today's value of it, and then what a great deal you're getting. Also, so many of these things are just not available today. The quality isn't there. You're not going to find it today. And so there's not going to be a way to find a current value. And so by kind of doing a blanket increase, like we say an average is 25%, that allows, for maybe what it would cost today, or for at least for inflation or whatever. And then you're still getting this great deal. Something like sterling silver, I just looked, has increased 515% in the last 20 years. So that would mean like a $4 cone back in the day is today $24, right? I mean, so we're not doing that, right? That's insane. So for something like sterling, though, that did increase so much, it's at an all-time high, it will be marked up. It'll be close to doubled. So that $4 cone will be like $6, $7-ish, and then will still be half off. So they're still going to be insane prices, and it's the quality, right? I told customers forever when they were buying things, the beads don't go bad, and here's the moment of truth, right? The quality is still here, and now today we can't even find it. So, okay, let's keep going. Let's start looking at some things. This is a gorgeous strand of Imperial Topaz. I only had one, so it's gorgeous. And it's so dark now. It's kind of a dreary day. So you'll excuse the clunkiness, but I'm not going to move out of the kitchen light and try to get near a window to get a little more natural light. which is still, there's no sun today, but if there was, it would really be sparkly. These stones are so gorgeous. Just again, to remember, this is 100% natural, right? So they're so beautiful. And this was all cut loose in a bag. So I laid out all the colors and size. It's graduated, and I did all the sizes and the color story, and then I had Sophie string it. And it's full 16 inches. I finished the back in 14 karat French wire so that you only have to put a clasp on it. She is spectacular. It's just the beautiful, beautiful colors of nature. And this is my center counter in the kitchen. This is not everything. We're using all the side counters. It's just this counter is higher, so it's more comfortable for people to shop from. She was $1,200 when the customer purchased her, of course, on sale. So she paid $600. We're only marking her up just 15% or a little over 15% to $1,500. So you would pay only $750. And that is the most expensive item here. That's what I'm kind of starting with her. And some of the other high-end items. But it's an insane value because she's worth at least 3 times that. It's so gorgeous. Gosh, I just love it so much. Okay, here's another small tray of some high-end stones, some beautiful tip drill rubies, pink opal. It's a gorgeous strand of natural rainbow moonstone. And again, if you've shopped a gem show in the last, 5 years, even more, maybe 10 years, this is not there. The quality is not there. I don't care what they've made in China. It's not 100% natural. They've just started calling it that because it's been accepted that it is. But the gemstones today are produced, in a mold or whatever. I can talk about it forever. They're not naturally hand cut in complete natural color the way these are. So this little strand of gorgeousness was $160 on the sale, and so the customer paid $80. We're putting her up to $195, and so on sale she's only going to be $98. So you barely pay more than the customer did, 15 years ago, say, for this gorgeous strand. There's a beautiful strand of emeralds here. The color is spectacular. And I'm sorry it's so dark. It's just kind of a dreary day here. But the color is so pretty. And the transparency is so gorgeous. Really lovely. And this is an older strand, older tag. I can tell from the SKU. And I can also look up everyone's, shopping history. But, so this was probably from an early show. But because at the time also, this is only $280, which is very inexpensive for emeralds. So the customer only paid $140. But I forget, but again, we're only marking her up, another 25% or so. And then half off that. So gorgeous. I remember having these darling little tip drills. They're faceted all the way around. They're so cute. That only came out to like $10 or $15. There's little topaz ones. These beautiful strands of tourmaline that at the time were only $26. So the customer paid $13. These will go up, I forget, like $35 or something. So you're only paying like $18. It's insane. The incredible quality and items you're finding, and then the price is just amazing. This gorgeous strand of high quality pre-night here. And these are just the ones that are in strands. I have plenty that are not, that we didn't string them all, as I mentioned. Some freshwater pearls. Let's move her. Here, I can tip this down maybe a little bit so I don't have to hold it all. These shorter strands were purchased like this. After we did our pearl sale, I still had a strand that was $550, And we'd had it for a while, like through 2 sales or something. And so I ended up breaking it up into these little pieces, into like 5 of these, so that each one was $100 on its own. And, you know, if you wire wrap them or put spacers or something, it's enough for a bracelet. The quality is insane, right? These are very, very high quality freshwater pearl, perfectly 6mm round. The luster colors, fantastic. So those are going up to like $125, and then and the customer paid $50, you'll pay $62 for an insanely beautiful amount. I mean, pearls are even worse at a gem show. There was only like 1 or 2 vendors, and they were awful. I'm just talking about Seattle's. And the prices were crazy. There's a couple of beautiful strands of coins and some larger hold ones. I loved these. These are two hold stick pearls, and these are just the ones that were in the bag because the strand was cut. But the original, you know, we leave the original tag when I have it, and then I'm writing in the markup. So, I mean, it's completely transparent here as far as pricing. So, there's several gorgeous strands: coral, turquoise, carnelian. There are a lot of beautiful full pearl strands. Here's more gemstone strands in peridot and amethyst, Botswana, blue lace, agate, so much pink opal, rhodochrosite, amazonite, azurite, and more rhodochrosite. And there's beautiful beach glass, amazonite, and mother of pearl. And then let's see, let's do sorry, this is so clunky, but this is what we're getting. This video is kind of useless after this weekend, so I'm not going to put a lot of editing into it. As I said, most of these little containers are either a half strand or full strand. Most are full strand. But in the case where there was maybe just a really great set of tip drill, or I found a little bit of a tip drill, these are sapphires, right? So here's some beautiful blue sapphires, and just four of them. Here's some labradorite and some topaz and iolite. So there is a little section that just has the higher end gemstones. And that beautiful moss aquamarine. I had one show, I had a bunch of that, it was so pretty. Tourmalines, topaz. I just forget how beautiful these stones are. And then, anyway, like I said, I went through every single container. I broke up a lot of the containers. There were more than one strand in many of them, and so I broke it up into a strand. There's a ton of natural chalcedony, right? It's so beautiful. Aquamarine, blue opal, Peruvian blue opal, pink opal, mother of pearl. I've not separated this yet. This is white coral and mother of pearl mixed that I have to sort. And this is very indicative of how a lot of things were. So I have to sort that out, and then I'll have that available. Pre-night, tons of the little pyrite strands I had, labradorite, was this onyx, citrine, amethyst. So I'm going to move the light real quick. And then I did a similar thing with some of the pearl. So even I just forget how gorgeous and what beautiful quality of pearls we had. So as long as there was, you know, a little handful of these gorgeous high-end coin pearl shapes or keshis, that I did a little, with these big beautiful cornflakes. So I did a little, you know, container of those. That'll be priced, you know, accordingly. Obviously I'll figure out a per bead price, but you cannot find that luster and color anymore, and especially not at this price. There's a big, beautiful strand of cornflakes, of all these stick pearls, more coins. Oh, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colors. And what's also cool about this is, right, it's an opportunity to buy if you didn't want a whole strand of something. Well, these are, you know, also figured out that way, where you could do a half strand, you know, if you wanted to, or so on. There are several of my precious palettes in the jars and the smaller ones. Tons of chains. Let me move a light down here. A lot of these chains are not available anymore. And these are all of our chains. And then there's a bunch of thinner ones, smaller chains too, in sterling and 14 karat that are on cards that'll be available. But a lot of these styles, right? I think I mentioned my supplier doesn't carry a lot of these anymore. And so these are some really fabulous ones. Not to mention all these gorgeous gemstone chains that we had for a while. So this customer has a lot of these gemstone chains that all of them are either, well, they're between a foot and I think 3 feet. Some of them are, but just in gorgeous clusters. And there's garnets and pearls and green onyx. Lots of the apatite, so pretty. These are Chinese crystal strands. We had a bunch of those. I made a separate little video kind of showing the difference between thunder polish with these big orange tags, the ones we carry at our shop, and then other cheaper ones that have been available at gem shows in the last like decade or so. But just as a quick synopsis, right, our thunder polish crystal strands are always 16 to 18 inches, so quite long. And just the colors are outstanding and all the cuts. And a lot of the Chinese crystal strands, right, we find today at shows are much shorter, closer to 14 strands. The color and stuff are not there, the cuts. So there's a difference in quality when you look at them side by side. And that's also something that's, again, it's very affordable, right? So originally, right, these strands were like $6. So now they're gonna be up to $7 and then still be $3.50 on sale. Our thunder polish, we're doing it $8 or $9, depending on the finish. And so they'd be $4 or $4.50. I mean, you can't even find them anymore. And so that's a crazy price. And they're so long. It's just, I've forgotten, again, how long they were and how pretty the colors were. So a bunch more pearls, lots of just every size, shape, color imaginable. Again, I put on the back whether it was full strand or half strand. Here's some citrine, some fire opal, carnelian, tiger's eye, a bonsuada. Sorry, we're gonna go around the light. Sugilite. There is a bunch of jaspers, pitcher jasper, Dalmatian jasper, bunch of moss agate, serpentine, green garnets, unakite, turquoise. There's so much turquoise. Coral, beautiful red coral, tons of lapis, right? Gorgeous, gorgeous lapis, and azurite. So pretty. Let's see, oh, there's kunzite too. I'd forgotten I had so much pretty kunzite. I loved these strands. It came in a beautiful color story, right? With pink and green. Oh, I love this strand so much. And natural calcite, it's so pretty. So pretty. Okay, so following with the klutziness, excuse my dog's home. This is not completely ready yet, but I want to take a quick look at it. Here's our sterling. We did sterling the same way. Well, I broke them up into smaller amounts because of how heavy the sterling is. So we put cones in pairs, or here's clasps, or little components I did in pairs. Again, so to, make it as affordable as possible for people. The beads I either broke up into pairs or little, groups of 6 or 4 when I could. There is some vermeil available. Then, the Swarovski, I haven't had a chance to go through it all yet. I have gone through all the, and sorted it by color and shape and size, but now we're going to break it down so you don't have to buy this entire package, which, is nice compared to how when I have it online. So we're going to break these up into like a dozen or 2 dozen or whatever. So again, so more people can get more of that color. And there's a lot of bicones, but then there's also a ton of rounds and pearls. hearts, and lots of great colors, or great shapes and things here. Cubes, tons of Tiptoe, sorry, my doggy is being very loud, but really gorgeous, gorgeous shapes and sizes. Beautiful pendants, gemstone pendants, this white jade, silk, tons of yumminess. So there's a little idea of your, peak of how it's going to be. And they're going to be great prices. And so this very select full of people is going to have a great time and find the best deals and the most beautiful things available. And I'll finish getting it all ready to go. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Peace.